Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Months of frustrations bubble over into full-blown anger in Dearborn Heights tonight.
I'm requesting the immediate resignation of Tyrone Weeks and LaTanya Gator.
The suspension of the principal at Annapolis High School is the fuse that blew multiple issues wide open. Thanks for being with us. I'm Kimberly Gill.
I'm Devin Skillian. Good to have you with us. Off the top at 11, it is The Point. To the Michigan Education Association put out a call now to action from its members. Mara McDonald live in Dearborn Heights tonight. Mara, teachers showed up in droves.
They sure did, picketing around the school, and I would suggest that this isn't just about people being angry anymore. This has progressed to rage.
Hey, go home! Dr. Weeks has got to go!
The teachers say they're at their breaking point, and the issues are many, but the central and consistent theme is there is no trust, quality administrators have been shoved out the door, and communication is poor. And they place the blame on Superintendent Tyrone Weeks.
He is a bully. He threatens, intimidates, and harasses the teachers, the paraprofessional staff, and the secretaries in this district.
All of this stirred up after Annapolis High School principal Aaron Millette was put on a suspension that has been explained to no one. Parents are livid.
I don't even know what's happening. It's been almost 2 weeks since he's been removed. Tomorrow will be 2 weeks.
And nobody knows.
We have no clue.
All of the frustration spilling out into tonight's board meeting.
I have one simple question. When is Mr. Millette going to come back?
The board and superintendent had no answers, not for the students who asked after their principal or the myriad teachers who came to the mic.
Why would you put Aaron Millette on leave when his staff and students need him the most? Why did it take 4 days to communicate anything to the staff and community about Aaron Millette's absence? Why do we not take the time to get to know our staff, or at least their name?
The board was perilously close to losing complete control of the meeting.
Point of order, I am conducting a meeting and I would like to have this.
Back here live, it was tense in there for the majority of the evening. I don't think most people got any answers to any of their questions. And the MEA tells me there is likely to be a vote of confidence in this administration. And if this was any indication, that's going to be a vote of no confidence. We're live in Dearborn Heights tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Quite an evening. All right, Mara. A man in custody after 2 separate attacks this morning in Macomb County. And tonight, we're speaking to the family of one of the victims who was stabbed to death at a BELLE tire in Roseville, seemingly at random. Our Jacqueline Francis live after talking with the woman's husband. Jacqueline, he's still just trying to make sense of this, which is senseless.
Yeah, Devin, that whole family is reeling tonight. Cheryl Parsley was brutally attacked by a man with a knife while filling her tires up with air this morning. There appears to be no rhyme or reason for why he picked her or why he picked the man he attacked shortly thereafter, again with that same knife.
Remember the last thing you said to her?
I love you. Once I got out of the car, as I always do. Be careful. What happened?
Larry Parsley is replaying every detail of the last time he saw his wife. 60-year-old Cheryl Ryan Parsley dropped him off at his bus stop for work around 6 this morning. He knew from there she was headed to fill up her tires.
She dropped me off. She said, babe, I'm going to go get air. I said, well, I got money for air. Pull in here. No, it's free there. Wish I would have never let her go. Because if I would have stopped and paid for it, she would be alive right now.
Cheryl was getting air at the BELLE tire on Gratiot near 14 Mile in Roseville when a man came up from behind, stabbing her multiple times with a hunting knife. Cheryl died from the attack.
She was my wife for 23 years. Best thing ever happened to me.
Larry said the mother of 4 was loved by all, and the stabbing appeared to be random. From there, the suspect attacked a second victim, this time a man waiting for a bus in St. Clair Shores. He's expected to survive. Hours later, the suspect was caught and taken into custody.
I've never even seen the guy. I've seen a partial picture of him shoving him in the cop car, but that's all I know.
Very little information has been released about that suspect in custody. We expect to learn much more, including his name and the charges he's potentially facing in the days to come. Reporting live in Roseville, Jacqueline Francis, Local 4.
It's just awful. All right, Jacqueline. New tonight at 11, crews on the scene of a crash after a semi hits a bridge.
This is happening in the area of Central and West Warren on Detroit's west side. Tim Pamplin is on the scene with a night cam. Tim.
After a little dismantling and a little nudge from a 10-ton wrecker, the crane finally gave way. To tell you how we got here, the driver, out of state, he didn't want to go on camera, said he just wasn't aware that his load wasn't going to get under the bridge here along Warren Avenue near Lonyo. Well, he found out soon enough, crushing the flatbed of his truck and spilling hydraulic fluid all along Warren Avenue. Hazmat crews have been out as of cleanup crews from the evening into the nighttime. First, freeing the trapped load and then getting that crippled truck on a flatbed of its own. So as you come back out to us now, they've got the crippled flatbed up in the air. That's been bent in half as it hit the bridge. They've got another flatbed coming underneath. They'll lower it onto that one. As for the bridge, well, the bridge is in fine shape. It's no longer an active train bridge. Trains haven't run on this bridge for decades, I'm being told. An expensive lesson by one out-of-towner tonight. That's the scene on the Detroit-Dearborn border. Tim Pamplin, Local 4.
Okay, Tim. The suspect accused of kidnapping and killing a Detroit nurse is facing a list of unrelated charges. Jameer Miller was arraigned today on 14 weapons and drug charges for an incident that happened back in February. It comes after Miller kidnapped and allegedly murdered his ex-girlfriend Patrice Wilson Saturday morning after her shift at Detroit Receiving Hospital. Wayne County's prosecutor's office is reviewing the case, but say charging decisions are not expected to come this week. As soon as they deliver those charges, we'll of course let you know. In the meantime, Miller is being held on a $1 million bond. 4 former security guards will face trial for a 2014 death at Northland Mall.
Lucius Hamilton, John Sieberling, Gavin King, and Aaron Marie, all bound over for trial. Each facing 1 count of involuntary manslaughter. Mackenzie Cochran died after being pinned to the floor during a struggle with the security guards at the now closed mall in Southfield. Witnesses say he was yelling at the time that he couldn't breathe. The former Oakland County prosecutor did not pursue charges back in 2014, but the state's Attorney General, Dana Nessel, gave the case another look in 2020. If convicted, the security guards each face 15 years in prison.
A 640-foot-long Great Lakes freighter made an unexpected visit to Belle Isle. The Mark W. Barker was on the way to Milwaukee when it suddenly lost power and maneuverability. Nobody was hurt. There were no signs of damage or pollution, but the ship was carrying salt. A tugboat helped move the ship to the Belle Isle anchorage, where it's being assessed to determine the cause of what happened. The freighter is free now and being assessed, but a lot of people ran to Belle Isle to see this cargo ship stuck right off the island this morning.
Pretty exciting. It's not often you can come down and see a ship 20 feet offshore.
So I was in the shipping industry and I heard about it. My friend was down here earlier this morning and caught it, so I said I'll come down, take some pictures of it, and see how they pull her out.
The Mark W. Barker set sail for the first time last summer. It's the first Great Lakes bulk carrier to be built on the Great Lakes in more than 35 years.
Still apart, but optimistic. That's the tone from congressional leaders after a meeting with President Biden on the debt ceiling negotiations. If the government is unable to pay its bills, Social Security checks, tax refunds, veterans benefits, all could be delayed. One of the remaining sticking points is a Republican push to add tougher work requirements for some federal aid programs. While President Biden is in Japan for the G7 summit, his team of aides will continue negotiating with Republican leaders.
The Michigan Senate approves a bill that would declare Juneteenth a state holiday. The bill passed the Senate by a 37-1 vote, with Republican Senator Jim Runstad voting against it. Juneteenth recognizes the June 19th emancipation of the last remaining slaves in Galveston, Texas in 1865. Under the bill, Juneteenth would join a list of 11 other holidays as public holidays in state law. The bill now goes to the State House for consideration. Well, tonight you may have seen a sea of blue and green in Detroit across the night sky.
Let's take a live look over Detroit from our Windsor Sky Cam. Landmarks lighting up in blue and green to raise awareness of neurofibromatosis. That is an incurable, rare disease. It causes tumors to grow on nerves throughout the body. And on May 6th, it took the life of 26-year-old Nick Gilbert, the son of Dan Gilbert. To honor Nick and raise awareness of NF, the Detroit City Council and Governor Whitmer proclaimed May as NF Awareness Month.
I'm Mara McDonald, live in Dearborn Heights. We've got breaking news here at this hour after a very contentious meeting here at the Annapolis High School, where the Dearborn Heights School Board has been meeting. Some last-minute movement out here. Superintendent Tyrone Weeks has been placed on a paid suspension while various claims against him are investigated. Meanwhile, beloved principal here at Annapolis, Aaron Millett, who was placed on a paid suspension 2 weeks ago with no explanation to the community, has now, according to what we have just heard from this meeting, been reinstated. So we've got some last-minute maneuvers here in Dearborn Heights. We will stay on it, of course, come back to you with more. We are live in Dearborn Heights right now. Kimberly Devin, back to you.
Boy, dramatic development tonight there. All right, Mara.